A Lion on the Path, an African Tale. There once lived a man and a woman who were farmers in far off, beautiful Africa. Now, even though their farm was very small and the man and woman had to work hard to make a living, they felt very lucky. They even grew enough extra vegetables to sell in the village on market day. One day, the man and woman were working under the hot sun in their sweet potato field. "What wonderful sweet potatoes we will have to sell on market day!" exclaimed the woman. And then she remembered, "Oh my! Today is market day. I must hurry or I'll miss it altogether." With that, she lifted the basket of potatoes on her head and ran off. "Be careful, dear," the man called after his wife. "A fierce lion was seen along the path that goes over the mountain. It's safer to take the long way to the village." "You worry too much," laughed the woman. "I promise to be careful, though." When she came to the place where the two paths started, the sun was already high in the sky. "Ugh, if I take the long way, I will surely miss market day," she thought. "I better take a chance and follow the short path." Back at their sweet potato field, the man became more worried. "My wife promised to be careful," he thought, "but she was in a hurry. I wonder which path she took." Finally, he stopped working, and with his hoe in his hand, he too set off towards the village. When the worried man got to the place where the two paths separated, he saw the woman's footprints on the shorter path. As he followed her footprints, he saw the basket with all the sweet potatoes tumbled about on the path. Thinking that the worst had happened, he dropped his hoe and started running. Around the next bend he stopped when he saw his wife standing beside a large rock, and there, watching her, was a fierce lion with the hungry look in his eyes. "If only I hadn't dropped my hoe along the path, I could chase the lion off," thought the man. "What can I do to save my wife now?" Then the man remembered he still had his embryo hanging from his belt where he always kept it. An embryo, an embryo is an African musical instrument, like a very small piano. The man quickly began to pluck out a tune on the embryo. Ting, pling, link, plink, it went. The music startled the lion, and it looked toward the man, fascinated with the sounds. "Quick," the man whispered to his wife, "run to the village." The woman ran toward the village. Now the man wanted to run after her, but the lion crept toward him, and each time the man stopped playing the embryo, the lion began to growl. So the man stood So the man stood very still and continued to play until his thumbs were sore. Just then a small voice said, "I've always wanted an embryo," it whispered. "If you give me yours, I'll play it so you can get away." The man looked down and there was a rabbit. A rabbit? He was surprised but gladly agreed. And still playing, he slowly bent down to hand the embryo over to the rabbit. As the rabbit played, the lion turned to look at it. So the man quickly made his escape and ran to safety of the village. Meanwhile, the rabbit continued to play. Soon it began to move slowly backward. The lion crept forward, but the rabbit just kept playing and hopping backwards until plop! It dropped right out of sight down into the little hole where it lived. When the rabbit disappeared, the music stopped, leaving the lion wondering if it had all been a dream. So the Lion walked away, humming an embryo tune as he looked for where his dinner would come.